Alright, I don't know exactly what time it is, but we are making a big old pot of spaghetti, and I kind of figured that if Wayne was going to be here, he'd come by now. I was kind of expecting him. He had said on Wednesday when he dropped me off that he was going to cruise back out here on Friday and spend some time with me and get out of Linda's hair for a little while, so I went ahead and made a big old pot, so in case he rolled into camp, I could feed the man. So might as well address this. The girl that showed up this morning, she showed up at 8:15, or a little after 8 o'clock, and which I guess 8:15 is a little after 8 o'clock. But when she came up to the tent, she didn't knock, or she didn't say hello. She scratched on the freaking front door. Kind of scared the hell out of me. Woke me up out of a dead sleep. I was up all night last night with a bear, and I've been trying to conserve video and batteries, so I didn't talk much about it last night, but I had a bear digging around in the pots and pans again, and Pescetti. I do it a little different. I do the noodles first, and then throw the spaghetti sauce in there and kind of reheat the whole batch. But anyway, the girl that came here this morning, which, as you know, I've kind of been asking for a woman, she was the girl that was at the camp across the way a couple of weeks ago. And she made a comment before she left, you know, I'm not really, you know, what's his name and I aren't really together, and, you know, would it be alright if I come and saw you? And I obviously said, sure. Feel free. So, out of the blue, 8 o'clock this morning, she dropped her kids off somewhere and come and saw me. So, had a good time. For the record, kids out there use condoms. We do. So, okay, it's hot. Yeah, use condoms. Practice safe sex. You shouldn't be having sex anyway, but if you feel you must, at least be responsible enough to be safe. So anyway, just hung out with her for a couple, 2-3 hours, and then walked her back to her car, and as she was walking back to the car, she informed me that she thinks she might be stuck. And I'm like, what do you mean you think you might be stuck? If you think you are, you probably are stuck. She's like, yeah, alright, well, I'm stuck. So, tried to dig her out. It really wasn't a way to dig. She had 3 wheels on the ground, and one of the rear tires were off the ground. So, you know, we tried to do some rocks and whatnot, but with what we had, there was no way we were getting her out. So, we came back to camp. I made her something to eat. We ate, and we just decided, you know what, fuck it, let's just walk. So, I figured we'd walk out and run into somebody, or Wayne, or something. And of all flipping people to run into, I run into the bear hunter. Which is fine, man. He was happy enough to, I mean, he was more than willing to. We ran into him about 4 miles down the road. He was going this way anyway, so he brought us back and had a chain and pulled her out. And sent her down the road. So once again, this mountain, asking you shall receive. I've asked for the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 days, can you bring me a woman? And he brought me a woman. She brought me a woman. Somebody brought me a woman. So, that was pretty cool. She was quite the snuggler, so we really just more or less kind of laid in bed together and squeezed onto my cot. She's a really skinny girl, so we fit well. Can you go that way, please? I don't want to eat with smoke on my face. Please! Come on! So, anyway, oh, come on. So, came back, made a big old pot of spaghetti. Kind of weird. Just water dripping off the tarp. But, yeah, came back, made a big old pot of spaghetti. Was kind of hoping that Wayne would show up, but no worries there. Little Ed said he'd be here for sure before Sunday. Today's Friday. Sunday is 4th of July, so I don't expect him up here on 4th of July. I'm sure everybody back home's got a big to-do plan. So I would assume that there's still a chance I might see him tonight. And if not, I expect to see him sometime tomorrow. So looking forward to find out if he was able to sell my compressor and what he was able to do for me. So I think no matter what, he bought that 22 from me, so I think he's I think the tobacco should be on its way no matter what. But I really get the feeling the kid kind of wants to, you know, do me right. So we expect to see him today or tomorrow. So, and if we don't, it is what it is. I've got enough tobacco to roll up probably 2 or 3 more smokes. That's it. Once again, which is fine. This is good if you can't tell by the way I'm shoveling it in my face. But really got into that book last night. It's the Book of Secrets. It's written by Deepak Chopra, and you know, he's a doctor of all sorts, and it's a little bit of a tough read, you know, cerebral, and you know, cells and genomes and hormones and all sorts of medical meets the mind. But he's Indian, so a lot of spiritual stuff in it, a lot of Buddhist references, a lot of stuff like that. But I got into whatever chapter, 5 or 6 last night, and ended up highlighting basically the whole chapter because it really spoke to what I'm doing out here. And you know, things like stripping it away and excuse me, really. But just a really interesting book. So takes a couple of chapters to get into his language and to catch up with his intelligence, but other than that, it's right up my alley. I mean, just talking about, you know, the secrets of life, the 15 or so secrets of taking all the religions into account and finding one common denominator in them all. And it really is. It really is a good book. So I think there's, you know, I think I'm probably on page 90, I think is what it was, and I think there's about 350. So it's a book I'll probably, you know, take a week to read, but it's definitely worth the time. And really, for me, the main reason is because, ironically enough, like everything else, you know, 5 People You Meet in Heaven was right up my alley, about a guy who worked at a carnival his entire life and really thought he had no impact on the world around him and thought his life was a waste. When he died, he met 5 people that he significantly influenced, and kind of validated his whole life. And if we all knew that before we died, or could believe that we're all here for a reason, it could be a different place. But everything I read, not everything I read, everything I do turns out to be right up my alley, and turns out to really, really, really speak to what it is that I'm doing out here. And okay, I'm smoking some pot and I'm still smoking cigarettes, and I just hooked up with a stranger, basically. Yeah, that's exactly right. But when her car was broke down, or when her car was stuck, she made the comment, I think I'm going to walk. I think I'm just going to walk that way, so, you know, I'm just going to walk. And I'm like, what do you mean? We ain't walking alone. I mean, we're in this together. I'll be right beside you. So if you were walking, let's get walking. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, we're in this together. I'm not just going to fucking let you walk off into Never Never Land, lost and stuck and this and that. There's just no way I can do that. And she's like, really? I mean, she was literally surprised that I wasn't going to leave her alone to deal with this problem, you know? And I'm like, fuck, here, let's go back to the tent and let's get you some warmer clothes and wear my sweatshirt and wear my fleece and wear my jacket and, you know, let's get you warm and let's get on down the road. And she was like, really? Fuck, that just made my day. And I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me? She thought that I, let alone the world she lives in, somebody would have just dumped her and said, fucking walk? You know, fuck. So, we may not be doing all the right things out here, but we sure as hell aren't doing the wrong things. And what wrong things we're doing right. So, I really care less about anybody's opinion. But I'm going to be honest about what I'm doing and what my day consists of and what I feel like. And last night was a really frustrating night because I couldn't sleep. And I'll tell you, I think I know why it was. It was because I knew Wayne was coming. And I was like a little kid before Christmas. I knew Wayne was going to drive all the way out here, and I was hoping to see him and hang out with him and smoke a bowl with him, and it kept me up all night, eagerly awaiting him. So the fact that he didn't show or hasn't shown doesn't upset me a bit. It just means that I really wished he would have came. And last night I was up kind of tossing and turning because I knew today was the day he was going to come and visit again. So I really do enjoy the fact that I don't have a car, and because today's one of those days where I'd be like, fuck it, I'm going to go cruise into Wayne's camp. And patience is a virtue. And no matter why he didn't show up, could be one of 100 reasons. And I need to learn patience. And I need to learn understanding. And, you know, when the boys didn't show up the other day, the bottom line was they didn't have gas money. So they told me they were coming to get me for the right reasons, and they wanted to come, and they wanted me to go fishing with them. But when push came to shove, they didn't have the gas money to get out here. So I'm beginning to learn and understand and embrace disappointment and patience. And I tell you what, it's a good tool for me to have because I've always lived in an instant gratification world. If I wanted it, I went and got it. And if I didn't have money for it, it'd take me about 3 days to get the money for it. So it's really nice. So I'm just hanging out and got a little fire going and stuffing my belly full of spaghetti, which I can't eat anymore. I know it's a weird thing, but when I get full, I physically get stuffed up, and I can't. I'm stuffed. I can't breathe right now. So I honestly believe that's where the term "stuffed up" comes from, or stuffed. But Johnny, my cousin, thinks I'm crazy. I'm stuffed up. But so yeah, we're just gonna lay low and roll smoke and probably bust out the book and enjoy the fire and enjoy the fact that we had a visitor today. And life is good today. So we're just digging it. And this Sunday is halfway. Actually, this Friday. Today's halfway. If you want to count it that way, I don't really have a date or a deadline of when I'm coming out, but I know I'm at best halfway there. I know some serious shit inside of me is changing. I know things are getting better and better by the minute. I know I'm getting stronger. I know I'm getting more patient, more understanding, more forgiving, more, everything. And I also know that that's not done yet. And my job here ain't done. So I don't know what happens next. I don't know where the next little crazy twist comes from, but, I wake up today to a girl in camp. So, and quite honestly, she was a real sweetheart. She, I don't know, don't take this the wrong way, but I think she kind of reminded me of my sister. I think she's had a real hard life. And I was just good to her. I was soft and, I was just good to her. I just treated her with respect. And, she even commented on my touch and this and that and how soft of a touch I had and how she could feel feelings in my touch. Come on, fire, please. Fuck! Fire's blowing smoke in my face. That's kind of pissing me off. But, I just was good to her and didn't treat her like an object. And I took care of her to the best of my ability, and she was blown away that I was willing to walk with her. It's like, what? Because I made the comment, I'll be beside you. I mean, I'm right beside you. We're in this together. She's all, what? Really? What else am I going to do? Drop you off on the fucking street and go back and sit in front of the fire? I mean, that's just... Oh, come on! Am I not supposed to be talking about this or what? So, excuse me again. And again, I just ate so much spaghetti. You never saw the bowl, but this pot was basically full. I think there was enough spaghetti here for 4 people. Now I got the hiccups. But, she was a sweet girl, and I hope sounds stupid, but in some small way, I hope I showed her how she deserves to be treated. And I don't know, maybe she'll go back to her life and expect a little more from people. So, she was a good girl. So we got her down the road, and quite honestly, we're just going to sit here and kind of cross our fingers that Wayne shows up. And if he don't, we're sure as hell not heartbroken or upset. We just would like to see him. And it's irrelevant that he's coming out with pot, because I'd love to just sit here and shoot the shit with him and, have him see my view. So, I'm so full. But I'm going to go another bite. So, we're just going to lay low. Our batteries are dead. Camera's only got about 2 hours left on it, so we can't do much waste in a video. So we're just going to keep on checking in every once in a while. And it looks like a cigar. Just keep checking in with you every once in a while and kind of keep the ball rolling, and in the next couple days we should have a shipment of food, a shipment of tobacco, shipment of a little bit of weed, and we're just gonna keep on fucking smiling, man. Shit 'em bark. Do not cook with this. Shit 'em bark, if you don't know what it is it's a particular tree out here that grows right by the water, and it's what X-Lax is made out of. So needless to say, you cook with it, you will wake up with a very, very, very exciting surprise, and you won't even know it's coming. And when it happens, you won't know why it happens, you won't know how it happens, you just know, oh my god, shit's running through me like crazy. So we're going to continue to throw some of this wet stuff up here. We got some good dry stuff behind us, but might as well keep this shit drying and keep her burning. So I will clean up my mess here, check in with you a little bit later. Love you, miss you, goodbye. And thanks, Bear Hunter, for fucking pulling her out, but you're still a poacher and I'm still fucking not liking you. But I gotta be honest with you, I've kind of considered killing this bear that's in my camp. And I know it's wrong as hell and it's against the law. Big time against the law. But that bear could feed a lot of people out here. That bear could feed Wayne, his wife, Richard, and Thomas for a couple months. And, you know, it's not my judgment to make and not my call to make, but I'm not God and I don't have a right to kill an animal just to go and feed people, but I don't know. We'll see how aggressive this guy gets with me in camp. I don't think he's going to get overly aggressive, but he could. So if he gets aggressive and makes a move towards my tent or something like that, in my eyes, I'll be defending myself. But I don't know. I'm probably rationalizing trying to break the law. No, you know what I'm doing? I'm rationalizing trying to feed my friends. And I'm rationalizing trying to give something back to the people that have given so much to me. And I don't have a lot to give them right now. And it looks like I may have a lot to give, but I don't have shit to give. And, I mean, right down to the food that I got coming, it's all steaks and ribs and fucking, you know, food that they really can't eat. I mean, this is a whole toothless tribe of people, and I can't really even give them food, you know, because it's shit they can't eat. So it just kind of bums me out that I can't give back, and I really wish, or better yet, I really hope that I'm not seen as taking advantage, and I'm not seen as taking them for granted, and, you know, taking food off their table or taking this or that off their table. I just don't, that would hurt me deeply to think that, you know, I've done anything to make them believe that, or that, you know, that they would believe that. Because I think they all know better, but, you know, you never know. So I'm noticing the battery, it's going dead, so I'm going to shut it off and try to process this. Try to process this unbelievable belly of food, and try to get you better light. There you go. Try to process this mountain of pasta that's in my gullet right now. But once again, life is good today. I will check in with you a little bit later. Love you. Miss you. Peace.